What's going on, everybody? This is Anthony Campo with the Be Battle Ready podcast, Daily Battle Edition. And today I want to talk about leaders don't let things burn. All right. So, being real about this, there has been, what I'm talking about today is don't let things burn. So what I mean by this is that, recently there's been some turmoil in my extended family. And I'll bring this back to what it has to do with leadership within your small business. Okay? There's been some turmoil. And it really dawned on me one day that, I've moved away out of state, but while I was in town, some stuff was happening. I was hearing it from through particular members of my family, and it hit me one of the last two times I was there, that I had to take a stand. And this, those of you know me, it's just... there's no real patriarch. I didn't realize I would be that. But so around April or whatever, Easter, I took a stand. And not in an aggressive, mean way, but just took a stand and called to task what was happening and said it wasn't right. Okay? And then this last time I had to go back, and when I was back in town, I had to confront it again. And things keep happening. And over the course of this last few months, it dawned on me, like, hey, I'm not the oldest in the family, right? I have, my mom's 70 something. My sisters are in their 50s. So there's a pretty big age gap. And, so I ended up, what I realized is that it's just not right, and it's my family, and I have to ascend to lead this family. And in that, it's been an interesting experience and really keeping the glue together. So what does this have to do with your small business? So I'm going to take you back to another story, let's back up. So when you run a small business, it's a small team. It's like a family. You're going to have interpersonal conflict, and you're going to have bonds that are tighter than the normal big corporate environment. Okay? So you're going to have to really manage this. And where do I come from saying this? So in the last, at one point, I was running a gym, and we had a staff of about 7, and that stuff came up. These interpersonal communications, these interpersonal conflicts, and, there was a lot of times that, I took a stand, and then eventually, there was a point I got frustrated. I was like, why the fuck does this keep happening? Or, I basically, through that process, and this is part of what I'm doing, what I'm being here, raw, real, relevant, right? Is eventually got frustrated, eventually stopped believing in myself, and was like, fuck this. And that ended up not working. So through this process, by coming and saying leaders don't let things burn, is that when things start to burn, you need to step up and really manage the culture and within your organization. Because this little organization that you run, these people that are on your team, are there believing in you, right? And you can take this at any level of organizations if you have a small team. I had an opportunity to be a part of a corporate environment for a few years, and that type of leadership, it was a lot of blame. There was a lot of blame of who was wrong and who was right. And I get it. Corporate environments are different. There's a lot of legality within that. But at the end of the day, if you're going to be a leader, right? And if you're going to see yourself as a leader, just like in my family, you know, if I see myself as I am a leader. I might not sit at the top of some major corporation, but that doesn't make me a leader, because one of the things that I've learned through that's been relevant and brought to my, I guess, the forefront of my attention, and a distinction that, you know, not that something that I learned, just a distinction that was like, to lead yourself, to lead your family, you got to lead yourself. So you want to extend that out is to lead your organization. You got to have your shit right at home too. Doesn't mean that if there's no turmoil, but you just have to stand in integrity in that. And the integrity is that you're trying to course correct. You're doing all that you can to lead that in the right direction. Because I could not sit on the sidelines. I can't sit on the sidelines and allow it to happen, because I've seen this in families. And you know, as I was thinking about this morning, if I go out, there's another situation that's just lingering, that, you know, like, that there's this not bond in the family. And it's not over here with my current family, like immediate family. It's a extended family. But because of my dad's void, I see the opportunity and the responsibility to bring that back together. And as I sit here, I'm getting chills to think about that. I'm getting chills to think about reflecting upon the past situations, and that nothing had happened before. You know, nothing had happened. You know, I go back and I hear stories of my dad not talking to his mom for a few years. And where's the leadership in that? We can't let things burn, especially in our families. So, you know, my purpose of this, and those of you who just joined on Facebook and Instagram, you know, I just hope that, you know, for me it is selfish because I get to talk about this, put this out into the world. But also, you know, hopefully it has some effect, because there's somebody out there, there's a number of families out there that are fractured. Where there's opportunity for somebody in there to take a stand and not let things burn. So, you know, I didn't realize where this was going, but, you know, the first business that I was a part of, I mean, this goes even back, like, to further back into another side of my family about things. Just, there was some shit that went on, but let's go back to I was involved in a senior care facility business. Okay? So we had interactions with a number of families. And do you know how many families that I saw fighting over the money? Fighting over, like, doing some, like, messed up things. I mean, we in our position, in our capacity in that business, we could only just sit on the sideline. There's some things we can do. We can call them ombudsman. We can do, when we saw things were grievously wrong. But where are we when we allow our families to burn? When we allow our families to be fractured? Where's the leadership in that? And back to, you got to lead yourself first. It completely makes sense. And I'm not trying to parrot something that I heard. It's just a distinction. It's just a revelation upon what I'm understanding to be, what I'm seeing out in my experience. So, you want to know why, you get kind of clear about stuff. You start fuck. You want to know why, can't take a stand? If you can't get your shit right with, your health and fitness, this isn't a health and fitness talk, but if you can't love yourself enough to take care of that, how are you going to go out and love everything else? Or do anything else? Or stand in integrity in that? So, what I want to know from you today is, where are you not taking a stand? I can't say I'm perfect. Oh, fuck no. And I'll mess it up. Yeah, but I'll go back a couple weeks ago, that time I went back and I was lit up on a situation. And it was a situation where, I was, it was this borderline of being calm and staying in that thing. And, just, as my friend, some of the people close to me, especially Mike Mursky, calls me Crazy Campo. I fucking let it out. And this is not to say, I was pissed. But you know what I did? I wouldn't have corrected it. I went back to it and said, I fucked up. So where do you need to take a stand? And not let things burn. And for me right now, it's my extended family. It's, simple. So, I hope this helps. I hope at some point, some people might think it's stupid. We can talk about that. Call me. But at the end of the day, I appreciate you. And I'm definitely inspired by a lot of you. And talk to you soon.